good afternoon. If you are in Southern California, here in Pacific Standard Time, and 7 o'clock p.m. if you are, as I always say, the dirty, dirty South or on the East Coast. Welcome to what we call Night School. I'm your host, Latanya Washington, and I am so excited this afternoon and this evening, depending on where you are, to have educator Miss Queenie Johnson on line with us on this live stream. I'm excited that she's here. And one thing that I know about Queenie is, first and foremost, she has been a longtime friend. She is big on education. She believes in ensuring that people understand curriculum and making sure that whatever they choose to go into, that it is profitable, it is feasible for their industry. And let me tell you guys a little bit more about her. She is, I say, she's an educator amongst educators in helping learners from the ages 77 to 77 perform better at work in the classroom and business, and also to identify relevant opportunities in the marketplace. So, welcome, Miss Queenie Johnson. How are you?
I love that introduction. She sounds amazing. Yes, yes, yes. I love it.
Thank you so much. How are you this afternoon? Because we already know you're busy with the little ones, your little
Yes.
clients, as you call them.
I have my little clients today, and I have some prep work later for my big clients. So I'm excited to be here, and I really want to make sure that those of you who are listening get whatever you need today.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to you guys. And so do this for me. If you have questions, definitely place them in our comment box. And so we can put the information up. I see some of you guys are here. And let's go forward. Are we ready? Because we know we only have about 30 minutes. But we want to make sure that we get in all of the information that people need and that you have the opportunity to share with us on tonight. You ready, Miss Queenie?
I is ready.
Well, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Now, tonight we're talking about knowing how to pivot. And so I wanted to first start off with the question of what does it mean to pivot, whether it is in career, whatever it is? Give that explanation first and foremost to our viewers, because some people don't know what it means. So explain that
Yeah.
for us.
So a pivot is a slight shift, right? So you could be forging straight ahead, and then there's some type of barrier and you need to shift. So you have to be willing to make the shift. And a lot of people are afraid to pivot because they think that their only way to reach the destination is the plan or the path that they had set out. But new circumstances might
Mhm.
appear, and those who are willing, keyword, willing to shift quickly without
Mhm.
regret are the people who will win in this new economy.
Okay, see, that was good right there. That are willing. You all hear that? You have to be
Yeah.
willing to shift. And so, even when you talk about being willing to shift, now,
Hmm.
especially now, because what are we calling this now? The new normal.
Yes, exactly.
Now, how new of a normal do you believe this will be with the way we're going, the way the society is right now? Is it
Yeah,
going to
I
be
actually,
crazy new normal
so
or?
Latanya, what I want to say is I think that this has actually always been occurring, and that this has just been brought into the forefront for most people, right? Like Constance just got on. She's been
Mhm.
talking a lot about artificial intelligence and how jobs are being taken by humans, and how you can prepare yourself to be the one who is still in demand despite that happening. So what I think is happening is that this is a shakeup and a reality for people to say this has actually been happening for the last 10 years, right? Where
Mhm.
essential people are being pushed to the front and non-essential people are being let go. And so the question is, will you actually respond to the reality that we exist in right now? Or will you still be lamenting over a normal that really didn't even exist, but it was a story that they kept perpetuating? And you, like all those lists tours that you kept saying, get in line, get ready, Start preparing. You've been saying that for how long, right? And so now people
Long
who
at
are
least
shook up
22.
is because they
Mhm.
were not ready when you were being Noah, right? When you were saying, get on the ark, get on the ark. It's about to rain. It's about to rain. The rain has been coming. So yes, Constance.
The The rain has been coming and the rain is here, you all. So now what are
Yes.
you going to do about it? And that's what
What
we're
are
going to
you
talk
going to do
about
about
on tonight. What are you going to do about it? And so I have some questions already written down for her. And you guys know if you have questions as well. So let me ask you this next, Queenie. What are signs that you know it's time for you to shift? What are some signs?
Well, one sign is like, I love your story, Latanya. If people who don't know it, like, remember when you used to go into the hospital and you started getting headaches? So your body will actually tell you it's time. So that's the first sign. Most people don't even recognize that
Mhm.
sign because what they're eating clouds their ability to even hear what their body is saying, to hear the messages for their body. So that's the first thing. Your body will start breaking down.
Mhm.
You'll get stressed. You'll start getting sick. You can't sleep. All of those are signs. The next sign is the market. The market is saying it's time to shift, right? So all of us remember going to Blockbuster at one point and another when we were children. The market was shifting. Blockbuster did not decide to invest in a fledgling company called Netflix. And now Netflix is the company that we're all tuned into right now over these last 5 weeks because they were able to provide a service during a time where the country was down. So we have the market, we have your body, and we also have just like opportunity. So you have to have vision. So vision can be also a sign that, oh God opened my point of view. So some of us are here with our vision, and when you have a prayer life, whoever you're praying to, have a prayer life, you can start getting flashes of insight and information about new opportunities that intelligence didn't tell you, knowledge you didn't know, but through wisdom, that can be a sign that it's time to shift. So those are three major keys to the kingdom right there.
Mhm. Yeah, right there. And so, like I said, and like you were just saying, because now we're living in a society where people are literally trying to figure out what am I supposed to do? What is it that I can do? Because we see the economy, we see that people are falling behind because
Mhm.
for many people they have not even taken on the new technology. Just like Constance always talked about artificial intelligence, and
Yes.
so. What would you say to people who are in those positions right now that are yet trying to figure out what can I do now? Because they're at the state now of catching up. What would you say to those people or in that
Yeah.
place?
I would say either you have he that has ears to hear, listen up, right? So this is your final opportunity. We are coming into a state to where there's a Netflix series that I love. It's called 3%. 3% is based on a dystopia in Brazil.
Mm,
There's the offshore people, that's the 97% of people who are fighting over limited resources. And then there's the inland people, there's the inland people, which is the 97% fighting over the resources and the little bit. And then there's the offshore people. Those are the 3% of people who have saw the vision and they were able to make it to the offshore. So you're either going to be on the inland fighting with people, wishing, hoping, crying about how it's unfair, how it's unequal, or you're going to have your eyes to see and your ears to hear, and you're going to tap into your personal power, and you're going to say, I got it. This is where we're going, and this is where I need to go with it. That's the only option.
mhm.
Cry about it or be about it.
Uh-oh, cry about it or be about it. What y'all gonna do? Because wait a minute, Constance said, "Wake up." I mean,
Wake
she said,
up.
and that's real
This is
talk.
what's
You either gonna
happening.
cry. Constance said, "Wake up." I mean, in
Wake up.
actuality, and you know what? And we're not here to fuss. Well, I don't know. Maybe we are here to fuss because, as Constance said,
Yeah.
we have to wake up because this is where we are now, and a lot of people are falling behind. And what happens? And I want you to touch on this too, Miss Queenie. I think what happens with a lot of people now they feel stuck. I don't know what to do with myself. Somebody help me. Somebody help me. Somebody help me. And a lot of times people come into our paths to help, then we're
Yeah.
not, as you say, willing, or something's missing. So for the people that say, please help me, or I don't know what to do next, and they feel, what would you say to them? What do they need to do? I mean, what would you
Yeah.
say? Because we
I would
are
say,
pivoting.
so I want to acknowledge two things. Number one, a lack of pivot is often rooted in this conversation that people feel like, oh, I don't know my purpose, right? So they feel stuck because they don't know their purpose. But I'm here to tell you, people right now in this economy who thought they were born to be a hairstylist, they thought that they were born to be a singer, they are now having to pivot and tap into other aspects of their gifts. So what my point is this: you are born to create, right? And so once you understand that you're
Right.
born to create, then you can let go of the burden of feeling like I have to do this particular thing. If it's an expression of your
Right.
creativity, that's the purpose. That's it. So that's the first part. The second part is that you don't have to have all the understanding. If you took one of the things that you know to do right now and you start moving in that direction and do it, then the next step will unfold. Part of this is that people are getting too attached and too gluttonous with information, but they're not releasing any of it that they are hearing. So no, I'm not going to be willing to tell you anything else. I'm sorry, Latanya. Latanya is the nice one. I'm not here to be nice for you. I'm here to shake you
Uh-oh.
up and say,
Don't be
no,
nice.
enough is enough. Apply what you already know and start moving towards what you know. When you do that, don't come back and ask me for help. Tell me, this is what I did, Miss Queenie, Latanya, Constance, McKenna, whoever else is on this list, and say, how could I have done it better? What piece of information might I be missing? Like, many of us are asking the wrong question. Don't ask for help. Ask me for exactly what you need. Come on. I work with children and adults. So if I know children can tell me, Miss Queenie, today, this is what we need to work on, then I'm not accepting help from a grown-up. No, get clear. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, y'all.
No, you said it, because this is where we are right now. Because this pandemic, or as I want to call it, the plague, it's upon us. And now what? And the thing is, what I'm finding out in life, the older I get, is we expect things to happen one way and they will come a totally different direction. And as you said before, we have to take on the state of knowing that we were created. So we should always be creating. I don't care if
Yes.
you have, it needs to sit on a shelf. Let it sit on that shelf. And so when opportunity knocks, people are ready. You are ready to pull that sucker off the shelf. I guess we fussing, huh? You are ready
Yes.
to pull it off
We
the
are
shelf
fussing
and
today.
give it out to, you're ready to pull it off the
Exactly.
shelf. You agree? I mean, people
Yes.
sit and we watch TV, we eat bonbons, we like help me, and we're doing, and people just sitting, just still. Gonna talk about it. Fuss on some more.
Yeah.
It don't matter. I can grab my
Yeah,
book
so
and
I just
stand.
think that sometimes we, like, for example, my background and my skill set is education. And many of you guys know I was teaching
Right.
branding and all those things. And one day somebody said, oh, Queenie, somebody's looking for somebody to write some curriculum. Started doing that, and then bam, people started asking me for that. And then if somebody says this, like, what I want people to know is that you may not know the whole plan. You may not even know what you're capable of. You might start on one street,
Right.
and then you might get curious and go down another street and you find the pot of gold. The whole point is that you get comfortable in uncertainty. And let me just say this. We might be in a pandemic right now, but there are countries who have been in a pandemic for years. And so now we're getting a taste of the reality that they've been living in. And now you are getting clear that, oh my gosh, there are people who live like this on a daily basis. These people who make $1 a day, people who make 60 cents a day, and you are now complaining because you got a little bit of stir in your life. We are so blessed that we even have internet. There are some countries who don't even have the internet. Like, I just need people to
Right.
understand the blessing even in the plague. China right now is blocking everything that their people are doing. You can't talk bad about their government. So I just want us to understand that even in the devastation, perceived devastation, because I'm not downplaying how some of us may be losing jobs, income, all of that. What I'm saying is that there are countries, millions of people who have been living this way prior to March 14th when they declared it like a shelter in place in California. So what I want you to say to that is, wow, if they're living in that all the time and I had all this opportunity, all this time, what was I doing? What was I doing
What
with
was I
all
doing
the
all the time?
information that LaTanya was posting about? What have I done with all that information?
And that's really where we are. So now we're talking about knowing when to pivot. And so as you said before, you know when it's time to pivot when you realize what you're doing is not working anymore, or you feel like you don't feel the energy or the passion to even go out and do what exactly you're doing right now, or you're beginning to question yourself. And
Yes.
so and so we're talking about it's that time, you guys. And so for many of you all, as Queenie said, we've been talking about this for a long time. And now we're in a space, we're in that space where it's either you're going to jump now or you're going to still be left behind. And there are people now, because even you look at some churches, a lot of them, most churches that were already online, oh, they on another level. And you notice
Yes.
that many of us are now watching them on TV, or we're watching them on the internet because they were prepared. And we want to make sure you all are prepared as well. And so talk about now, Queenie, about some ways in which people can begin to create opportunities for themselves in the marketplace, because we're
Yeah.
here now.
Yeah.
You either got to take the information, you got to go for it now. Yeah.
So we gave you a little spanking on the tail. So
Yeah.
let's just calm it down a little bit. Let's just say this, right? So in your house right now, there's something that you can sell. That's the first thing, right? So when we're doing commerce, that means that there's an exchange. You have something that I want, and I'm going to exchange it for some type of monetary value. And whatever amount that I give you with the money, I am indicating that, let's say the cell phone that you have is worth the $20 I have in my hand. So we exchange. So number one, get comfortable exchanging the energy of money. So that's the first pivot, right? The second pivot is knowing that it's a decision, right? The decision to allow yourself to make money. Let's make it fun. Let's not make it out of desperation or make it out of this energy that pulls us back and that keeps us second guessing and question ourselves. Remember, the lady who was in her house and she didn't have anything, and what did the Bible say? It told her to go in and she got some oil and she come out and now she got all these bottles of oil. She didn't think she had anything. And so my point is, you have
Right.
something in your house. In your house. What is your house? Your house is your body. Your house is in you, in your spirit. So what type of knowledge, what type of skill set, what type of maybe it's not you starting a business. Maybe it's you complementing your skills with somebody who has a business, right? You don't always have to be the person in the driver's seat, but you can drive with the skill set that you have and really forge a path for you. Everybody needs partnership. We like right now, over 6 million people are watching that Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls documentary. And we see like Jordan could not win a championship by himself. He needed players to win. So maybe you might say, you know what? I'm not Jordan, but I am Scottie Pippen. I am Dennis Rodman. I am, John Paxson, who hit the game-winning shot at the last minute. So decide what role you want to play and be exceptional in that role. Like there is space for you, and we need whatever gift you have. So those are the things I would say. Just start somewhere. Make a decision as soon as you get off this live to start somewhere.
Make a decision, you guys. And so basically, we are here letting you know we're in a space where you have to pivot. We're at a time where if you don't, you're not going to make it, or and I won't even say not make it, but you're going to be sad and you're going to be miserable because the world has moved on to another place. Because I know we talked about a long time ago about what was it, Toys R Us, even Blockbuster Video. Look what happened just like
Yeah,
that. Netflix, Hulu took over because we're in a new age. We're in new technology to where people are not going out to the stores and purchasing video. They're just literally just, we're just clicking buttons. And so,
exactly.
too, what would you say, Queenie, to people now who are not up to date on modern technology? I know some people don't have sites, they don't have information. We're talking. A lot of people are talking a good game, but I
Yeah.
can't even find sometimes. So
Yeah, I think
talk in regards to that. 'Cause
okay, so the first thing is this. McDonald's spent a lot of money in the last, I think, year or so, let's say 5 years,
Mhm.
investing in automated machines within the restaurant, right? And many, you can say that's a good idea, but other companies decided to invest in their DoorDash, right? And being able to deliver to people's house. So you need to understand where
Right,
the market is going. People are wanting things to be brought to them, where McDonald's, a multi-billion-dollar
right,
company, decided to invest in people coming into the restaurant. And so number one is we got to make
right.
sure we're tapped into our futuristic thinking so that we can take calculated risks that make sense. So that's the first thing, Latanya. The second thing is the principle of one product, one website, one offer. Day to day, we're selling that one thing. I'll say that again. One product, one website, one offer, and a day-to-day campaign. Yes, the power of one thing. That's
This
such
is
a
the
great
book.
book.
This is the book, y'all. This is the
Yes.
book.
I
That
didn't even
one
know that.
thing,
See, I read that before. I love that book.
girl.
Yes.
That's the book.
Yeah. I think
Go on, go on. I'm listening.
many of us are trying to do multiple things, and that takes a very high level skill, right? And so the first thing is, if you can master being a genius in one thing, you can get far more respect in that than trying to be a master of all things, right? And plus, it keeps you off
Right,
balance. It keeps you walking in a cloud of uncertainty when you attempt to do more than
right.
you have the bandwidth for. And so the first thing you want to do is you want to walk in the principle of one. Then, iPhone started with iPhone 1. This is iPhone 7. They're probably on iPhone 11 right now. So just start with one, move it out into the world, and start doubling down. You speak and you evangelize about that one thing you have. And then once you start doing that one thing, then you can add another thing on it, right? And so you have to know who you are. You have to know your learning style, and you have to know your capacity for weight. Some people cannot hold more than one thing. You know how some people who they're driving and they can't listen to the radio at the same time, or they're working and they
Can't do
can't
it.
do all the noise, they're like, turn it down. I'm a person, I can have a whole conversation with you and be working on something really important and get both of them done. But I would not recommend that for other people, because that's my capacity. It doesn't mean that I'm better. It just means that that's what I am capable of doing. So don't take it, well, they have 6 things to selling. That's not what you have to do. One thing right now. Master the in and out philosophy. One burger. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? That's all we have to
One
do.
burger. They do. They have one
The-
burger, and that's real
One
life.
burger.
And you got, and the line is all the way around the corner just for that one burger. But the
Yes.
philosophy is like they have great service, but they focused in on
Yes.
that one burger. It is what it
Yes.
is. And so I think a lot of times what we forget to do, or what we don't do, is, as you say, focus in on what that's already on the side of us, that skill that we have, and then learning to build from there. Because for me, there
Yes.
was no way I would have ever thought I would end up in the college setting, instructing. There was no way I would have ever thought of that. But it didn't just start there. It started from other stuff, and then it started me going back to school, and now look where we are now. And now you build from there. But you have to be, as you said it previously, you have to be willing to take the next step. You have to be willing to pivot so you can continue to stay relevant in a world that is consistently changing. So shed a
Yes.
little bit more light on that, because I didn't get
Yeah,
excited just on that.
that's so beautiful what you just said. And the one key, if that I can give everybody to leave tonight, is to not be married to the how. Don't be married to the how. And that's what will make it difficult for you to pivot, because you're married to the how. So the only thing you
Wow.
have, what I've been teaching people now, because I stepped away from teaching so much on branding and I started noticing a
Right.
pattern that people were not willing to bet on themselves. That was like a consistent pattern.
Mhm.
And even I had to work through some of that energy with myself, because all of you guys know my background's in education, and what I noticed is that embedded in the programming of any curriculum is the idea that you shouldn't bet on yourself, that you should stay with the system, that you should wait until the last minute to make a move, until somebody else says it's okay for you to make that move. And so what I started doing was pivoting into teaching people how to align their mindset and their energy so they can transform the way they think and perform, right? And so what that helps you do is achieve that next big thing in your career or your business. But I realized that I had to really help people with their mindset. And so I've been teaching people my gutsy philosophy and how do you get gutsy. So I'm saying all that to say this: we're not going to be married to the how. What we're going to be married to is our standard. What is our standard of success? So we're going to be married to the what, right? And when I say even married to the what I mean is we're going to have what we desire. So let's just say in our business, let's say we want $10,000. So I'm going to say that is what I am focused on, the $10,000. I'm not going to be married to how I'm going to make the $10,000, right? Because if you get married to the how, then you're closing off all the possibilities of how that $10,000 can get to you. Because if you think the only way you can get that $10,000 is through hard work, your great aunt might have left you a check for $10,000, and that check will get lost in the mail and it won't come to you. So what I want us to start doing is raising our energy and raising our standards. And the way we raise our energy and our standards is we get very clear on the what. I know Constance is loving this right now. We get so absolutely clear on what we are desiring. That is the only thing you have to envelop yourself is in the what. And you say, okay, Holy Spirit, for me, that's what I say. You want to say, okay, God, universe, whatever you say, and you go, okay, show me what would it take for me to get this $10,000. Show me what would I need to do. Now, what will happen is that as you start to fall in love with the standard that you're setting for yourself, for your life, and for your business, you may find that that's not really the standard that you want to hold for yourself anymore, right? So I always teach about prisons and paradises. So somebody's prison is somebody else's paradise. So let's say you hold up the standard to $10,000, you get the standard of $10,000, you realize $10,000 is not enough. So now guess what I have to do? Raise my standard again, because now I need $20,000. And you know what? I'm not just going to raise my standard from 10 to 20, because God said he's a God of multiplication. Now I'm going to raise my standard from 10 to $80,000. So I want us to start falling in love with our standard. Now, once you start setting a standard, this is the beauty of it. You set your standard, and now your behavior and your actions should align with that standard that you set with yourself. So what tends to happen is so many people are unwilling to commit to a standard, because if you commit to a standard, now your behavior, your mindset, and your energy have to align with that. So if you say you want to make $10,000 and God says, okay, well, one of the ways you can do it is through this business idea that I gave you. That means that you got to align your day-to-day business actions by showing up, waking up on time, making sure you have a system of communication. How are you out there promoting your business? Are you doing ads? These are all the things you know you have to do, but are you going to be consistent with the standard that you set for yourself? And most of us don't want to be consistent. Therefore, we revolt and result to, can you help me, LaTanya? I don't know what to do.
And there you have it. Help me.
There you go.
Because we don't want to come up to the standard. You got to do something. You got to work the work. And as you said previously, then I want you to just we're gonna shut this down, because I want you to have the final words, because y'all, she got to get to her clients, all right, because she has clientele. But as you said, we have to be willing to do the work. We're in a state where we have to pivot now, because we are in the new normal. Take what you already have on the inside of you, your skills, what your God-given talent, because he created us to create. and then keep moving up higher, and to just go from there, because we have to. Either you're going to get left behind. The truth be told, we're already behind the eight ball, especially as a people, because as you said, we want to sit there. We want people to bring it to us, and things do not come by osmosis. We got to get up and we got to do the work. And so, let's give your final say on today, on this afternoon. This was some good stuff, was it not, you guys?
Yeah.
I mean, good stuff. And we're bringing you the information you need to go to the next level. So give us your final words, Queenie, and then let people know where they can reach you, because we have people here that have their students, their parents of students, their students to the crack. I mean, everything. So give us your final touch on this afternoon.
So let me say this: if you want to work with me in terms of, transforming and aligning your energy and mindset, you definitely want to go to missqueenie.co, MSQUEENIE.co. But I want to leave you with this. The pivot is the decision to see what you've been unwilling to see. I'll say that again. The pivot is the decision to see what you've been unwilling to see. So a lot of times when we're in a circumstance, we only think that there's one way to see, and then something will shake up our reality and we will realize, oh my God, I didn't even see all of this because I was so focused here. So remember, the pivot is the decision and the willingness to see what you've been unwilling to see. So as we all leave this, even me, when I get off this call, God, what have I been unwilling to see? Expand my point of view so I can see options, I can see opportunity, I can see people that I've been dismissing because they didn't look like they were going to be able to help me, because they didn't look a certain way that I designated what help looks like. So let's make sure we ask God, help me pivot. Now, remember, a pivot is just a slight, right? It doesn't always have to be a whole 360. So don't be afraid that you're going to have to lose everything. But guess what? Be willing to give up everything that you know to be true so that you can move forward into this new season. The other two things I want you to remember is that your purpose is to create. End of story. Purpose, right? The next thing I want you to remember is power. Is your power to turn energy into matter, right? Those are the people who are powerful. So when I talk about energy, that means your ideas, that means your thoughts, that means your inner visions. If you can turn that into matter to where it shows up and it's a reality, you are powerful. And so that's what I want you to walk away and to ask yourself, am I willing to pivot? Have I tapped into my core power? And there's one more thing. I want us to not be afraid of profit. If we're going to pivot, we got to be willing to profit, and being profitable in all areas of our lives, spiritually, physically fit. Remember, if we're going to be leaders, we have to be physically fit. Right now, we're seeing our top health officials who have handled this situation with such disastrous organization. It is laughable, and it's really egregious for how they've handled it, because we have leaders who are unfit physically, mentally, and spiritually. So I want to leave you with that. And then I want you to understand, get comfortable with money. Get comfortable with money, because if you're not comfortable with money, money is going into the hands of people who are comfortable using it for the wrong purposes. So we need you to be comfortable with money, making it, generating it, using it, helping other people making it. And I just want to leave you all with that. You can find me at missqueenie.co. Let's do it. Let's get gutsy and let's be brilliant.
Missqueenie.co. There it is. I have nothing left to say, because she just, as someone say, she just slayed this. And it just is what it is, you guys. I mean, it is what it is. This is where we are. We're in pivotal moments, and we have to be willing, and we have to lift up the standard, and we have to be willing to create, because we are created. God created us to create. And that's all I got to say for this afternoon, y'all. You know what, Miss Queenie, thank you so much for being with us. I know slay all day, snap them fingers, but thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and your time and providing such amazing information to our audience on this afternoon. For you guys that you want to listen to the replay, is on our YouTube channel. Definitely go back and listen to it. If you want to connect with Miss Queenie, what was that information one more time?
Missqueenie.co.
and she knows her stuff, y'all. I'm trying to tell you. All right, we best. We don't sugarcoat anything. We bring all the
Yes,
greatness to you.
yes.
But thank you guys so much. Thank you, Miss Queenie. Get to your little
Bye. Thank
clients
you
and then
so
your
much
big
for
clients
having me.
this afternoon. Thank you so much, you guys. You guys stay safe. And if you have any questions, definitely reach out to us and we'll see you soon. All right. Bye bye. Tell people bye.